Hello there. Today we're going to be starting a new fanfiction. In The Phantom Menace, Qui-gon frees Anakin, and when he delivers the news to Anakin, he gives him a choice, and Anakin says he wants to become a Jedi. But what if he didn't? That's what we're going to be looking at today. But before we get into it, subscribe to the channel. Make sure to watch the video all the way to the end, because that's what YouTube is asking for, to monetize me. But with that out of the way, let's get into this. Qui-gon kneels in front of Anakin, and warns Anakin that training to become a Jedi isn't an easy task, and even then it's a hard life. Anakin thinks to himself for a second and looks to his mother and back to Qui-gon. Anakin asks him if he'll be able to come back and free the slaves, to go around the galaxy and help people, and Qui-gon looks down and admits he will be able to help people, but only if the Jedi Council sanctions his missions. His main duty will be protecting the Republic, and letting go of all of his attachments and aspirations. Anakin doesn't like this and admits he doesn't think that's the life he wants. Qui-gon looks disappointed for a quick moment, but then smiles at Anakin and tells him they can worry about his future after they complete their mission. Anakin is surprised that Qui-gon is still willing to take him, but Qui-gon also knows that he can't make a difference if he stays on Tatooine to slip back into slavery. Flash forward to the end of The Phantom Menace, and Obi-Wan and Anakin are sat watching Qui-gon's cremation. Anakin turns to Obi-Wan and asks what will happen to him now. Obi-Wan tells Anakin that the Council has granted him permission to train him, if that's what he wishes. Anakin looks back to Qui-gon with tears in his eyes and says no, it's not the life he wants. Obi-Wan looks back to Qui-gon in contemplation. The next day, Obi-Wan and Anakin stand on a balcony overlooking the lake. Obi-Wan asks Anakin what he wanted to do with his life, and Anakin tells Obi-Wan he wanted to deliver his people from slavery. His mother always told him the biggest problem in the galaxy was nobody ever helps each other. Obi-Wan stares out into the horizon and comes up with an idea. He turns to Anakin and tells him to come along, and he believes he may know of a way he can follow his dream. Obi-Wan and Anakin take a Jedi shuttle and travel to Mandalore. The two approach the throne room and are greeted by a young Duchess Satine. Obi-Wan and Satine greet each other with an unspoken love for each other. She says that she's at his service for his protection a few months ago. Obi-Wan fills Satine in on recent events and requests that Anakin be taken into one of their clans to be trained. Satine is sad to inform Obi-Wan that Mandalore has abolished their warrior ways, and she can't help them. Obi-Wan recalls that Satine mentioned this as her goal while they were on the run together. Obi-Wan apologizes to Satine for the intrusion and gestures Anakin to follow him out. Satine watches Anakin leave with sympathy, but then calls Obi-Wan's name. She says she'd like to speak to Obi-Wan in private. Satine tells Obi-Wan that there is one option. On Concord Dawn reside the last of their warrior people. They were allowed to bear arms to protect the Mandalorian space from pirates and crime syndicates. Satine says she will inform the protector of Concord Dawn, Kron Rao, to expect their arrival. Anakin and Obi-Wan arrive at Concord Dawn and land at Rao's fortress. Obi-Wan bows before Kron. Kron is a bit standoffish as he dislikes the Jedi. Obi-Wan says his piece and informs Kron of Anakin's past as a slave, and he's a gifted pilot. He'd be an excellent addition to their ranks. Kron questions why Obi-Wan doesn't take him in to train as a Jedi if he's so gifted, and Obi-Wan says he chose not to. This takes Kron by surprise that the Jedi allowed the boy to have a choice. Kron agrees to take Anakin in and raise him as his own. Anakin is confused, and Obi-Wan explains to Anakin that these people will train him to fight, and when he comes of age, he can use those abilities for whatever he chooses. These people value honour, integrity, and solidarity. They'll always support him. Obi-Wan promises he'll frequently visit. Anakin thanks Obi-Wan and waves Obi-Wan goodbye. Over the following year, Anakin has been fully inducted into the Protectors. He's befriended Kron Rao's son, Fen Rao. Obi-Wan has kept his promise and visited the planet, giving Anakin casual lessons on the Force each visit. Eventually, a stranger would arrive on the planet, a Mandalorian warrior wearing silver and blue armour. Anakin asks who he is, and Fen tells him he's Jango Fett, a Mandalorian bounty hunter who grew up on Concord Dawn. Anakin's curious nature leads him to approach Jango. Jango's paternal nature lets his guard down for Anakin. Jango and Anakin sit around a campfire outside the fortress and talk. Jango asks Anakin if he'd ever considered being a bounty hunter, and Anakin says he grew up surrounded by them. He said his mother always told him they were dangerous. Jango nods and admits that's fair. Jango questions Anakin further about his past, and Anakin tells Jango he grew up as a slave on Tatooine. Jango empathizes with Anakin, telling him he'd been to Mos Eisley a few times and seen it, and admits it's a cruel corner of the galaxy. Jango gives Anakin hope and tells him when he's older, he'll be able to become a bounty hunter and free his loved ones from slavery. using his bounty money. Django tells Anakin he's a good kid and leaves. And that is where this part ends. Thank you guys very much for watching. It's good to be back getting into fanfictions. I can't wait for you guys to see where this one goes. I'll see you guys on Wednesday for the next live stream, and later on tonight for the makeup live stream for me not doing one on Wednesday. Apologies again for that, by the way. But until then, guys, may the Force be with you. May the power protect you. Bye.